You know, it seems that when it has consideration at the level of the Supreme Court of a nation ostensibly led under a constitutional government, and sometimes they engage in some sort of support mechanisms for each other. Can I pull a Poland? Right now, as far as I understand, the Supreme Court of the United States has three former justices that are in retirement. My understanding is there are still three living, cognizant of full mental capacity, former justices of the Supreme Court that have retired in a military court martial in order to commence proceedings for certain matters. What is needed is three. If the current Supreme Court of the United States is actively constituted, is incapable of being able to perform its duties in this time frame because it is compromised in some manner, then perhaps it is time that we request that the three remaining justices that are currently in retirement take themselves out of retirement long enough to deliberate on the profundity of these matters. My understanding is that per Rule 40 of the Supreme Court rules, Supreme Court Rule 40, Section 3, does allow for a process whereby a writ of certiorari to review a decision of the United States Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces under 28 U.S.C. Section 1259 may proceed without prepayment of fees or cost or furnishing security therefore and without filing an affidavit of indigency, but is not entitled to proceed on papers prepared as required by Rule 33.2, except as authorized by the court on separate motion under Rule 39. There is currently a decision that was given on September 3rd of 2020 by a Court of Appeals that I understand is connected to a pattern of racketeering activity. It has its intent on undermining not only the national security of the United States, but in contributing to a global destabilization, and that I believe right now is being used or disabused in an ongoing effort to attempt not only or not even a coup, but rather a significant undermining of the federal government in order to allow for a foreign incursion in order to usurp the constitutional process of the United States. We're not talking about people, Americans, attempting to effectuate a regime change. We are talking about hostile foreign interests that have infiltrated the government and have attempted to undermine it to such a significant degree that they intend to compel us to cede our sovereignty to a foreign entity. If the last recourse we have under a constitutional system as it currently exists is to make this request, I am formally requesting at 2:08 a.m. on September 16, 2020, that the three retired justices of the Supreme Court of the United States immediately retract their retirement or take themselves out of retirement long enough to deliberate on the profundity of these matters and then act accordingly. It is within their jurisdiction, and while it might be an unconventional process, I believe it is called for at this time.